Hey everybody, David here. Hey, we're talking about this country divided. We're talking about look. I'm going to lay it out. It's either God or it's not. Okay. We talked about the right and the left, the Democrats, Republicans. That's malarkey. That's the flesh. I'm going to fly in the spirit. I want to talk about it's either God or it's not God, and this is where all this is going to go because their purpose. They don't care so much about politics. They don't even care so much about money. They really care about taking God out of the picture. They got to get you out. They got to get me out. That's why, folks, Jesus can no longer be illegal. We have to legalize Jesus, okay? Legalize Jesus. At this point, we just can't stop. Okay, so we're talking to Coach Dave about the Million MAGA March in Washington. But you were there, okay? Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I wasn't there, but was there a level of passion, a level of heart that you've not seen before, or was this just the usual?
David, I've been doing this quite a while. I've been in this battle. As you said, we do street ministry. We do prophetic stuff out in the streets. And I've spent a lot of time, like you just in your opening there, asking, where is the church? Where is the church?
Yeah.
I want you to know, David, I saw it. We saw it on Saturday. They were out there. The moms and pops, the deplorables, as Hillary called us. They were out there, David. But the problem that we have, I really believe, and this is if you want to know what a takeaway was, let me call timeout. David, there weren't tens of thousands. There were hundreds of thousands. There were hundreds of thousands of people there, despite what the media would tell us. I'm telling you, brother, I saw hundreds of thousands of Christians who've had enough. But the reality of it is we don't have anybody. Franklin Graham, you name all the big name preachers, they're not there. They're not at the center of it. They're not fighting that fight for us. And I made a comment to some of our friends that were there. The real leader behind this whole thing is Alex Jones. And David, most of the church is ashamed of Alex Jones. They're ashamed of him, right? And we hear in media, far right. Well, you mean Antifa's not far left? You don't ever hear them say that, right?
Right.
So there were all these moms and pops and young kids and normal people that you would see every day, working class Americans. And David, we are in a leadership deficit. Like I don't know if there's ever been worse leadership in Christianity than we have in America today.
Okay, so when I said, where's the church, you picked up on something very important. You knew the church was there because we are the church. The people are the church.
Right.
What I really meant, Coach, and I didn't want to come out and say it. At first, I needed to say the church. I really meant, where are the pastors?
Yeah, leadership.
The flock. I mean, they lead the flock. So I'm 100% in agreement with you. If you look back in history, let's take a stroll back in time. Let's even go to someone like a Billy Graham. Okay, I'm just pulling him out of the hat. Would he have showed up there, do you think?
No.
No. Okay. How far back, Coach, do we have to go to find a leader, a spiritual leader, that would have shown up last weekend?
Well, David, this gets to the heart of what the problem is. I really believe in a lot of ways we are not practicing true biblical Christianity, David.
Yeah.
And one of the jobs of the church is to oppose evil. As hard as that is for people to understand, we have traded the opposition of evil. Jesus said to occupy till I come. We have moved away from the occupation of evil to the acceptance of it. To a part where the church has now become tolerant and accepting. And if you speak out against anything in any way in a harsh manner, if you were to happen to speak in a John the Baptist way, most of Christianity would shun you, David. That's why I jokingly said that about Alex Jones, because he doesn't fit the mold, does he? He doesn't fit the mold of a Christian, of a pastor, of a leader. Yet there are people who are there who are looking anywhere for someone to give them some direction. They know, David, they are losing their country and they're crying, please, for somebody to stand up. That's what I think the attraction to Donald Trump is. It's not a Christian thing. Yeah, it's a guy who's finally saying what they feel in their heart.
But see, Coach, this is a sad affair. Do you understand what we're saying right now? I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is that there's no true Christian leader stepping up to the plate, men of God or women of God, that they're settling for people that are kind of on the outskirts, that don't claim to share that platform. Do you know what I'm saying? In other words, they're reaching for something, and that's what they're getting. They're getting the best they can get.
Well, so I'm just got right in front of me, David, Psalm 2. And if I could just go there real quick, I want to paint a picture for people so they understand exactly what the battle is that we're fighting against. And real briefly, it says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Listen to this, David. The kings of the earth. David, did you know they were kings of the earth? And did you know that the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together? Did you know there were kings of the earth and rulers who take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed? David, this is a spiritual battle that is playing out right in front of us. And unfortunately, most Christians and a lot of our leadership doesn't understand that this spiritual war is being played out in this natural realm. And the devil and his minions are getting more and more aggressive, more and more, as you mentioned earlier, coming maybe towards the idea of the Antichrist. And the church has been content to not recognize this battle that we're seeing in Psalm 2. David, listen, I hate conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat. Hey, brother, hear me, folks. There's only two teams, God's team and the Satan's team. How do I know that? Because he said in Genesis, he put enmity between the seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman. That's the battle, brother. And there are Christians on both teams, some deceived on both teams. But the idea that conservatives, that's the battle. No, they just make us pick teams, David.
Absolutely. You preach it, Coach. You know, I mentioned earlier about the Civil War. It was the church that divided, that participated in the division because of their religious politics, right? This is happening again, Coach. The church, and I'm going to bring Pastor Mike in a little bit later. I want to talk about this. The church, by default, by not standing up, is actually playing into the hands of the enemy. They're helping in the division of the country. Now, I do want to talk about, I don't even want to go denomination, but I have to a little bit. Where's the Catholics? Where's the Baptists? Where's the Methodists? Where's the Presbyterians? You know, that you're so proud of your denomination. Where are you? Why aren't you out there just holding up a sign saying, I'm a Baptist, right? They weren't even, I didn't see signs out there that even showed denominations, much less, hey, I'm a pastor, I stand for God. I dare you. Where were they?
About 50 of them were with me. To be honest with you,
they were. All right.
We're calling them out of that denominational thing, David.
Yeah.
We're calling them out of that thing.
Yeah.
Because remember, denomination is a math term, right?
Yeah.
A numerator and a denominator. So by its very nature, denominations divide the body.
Absolutely. And the reason I brought that up, I said at least could you be out there holding up, I'm a Baptist. I said at least. Now, I don't condone that. That's not what so I don't want anybody to think that was really what I meant. But I mean, why couldn't pastors be out there with their groups like Coach Dave was? And, because you've got a congregation, bring them out. You meet every week, bring them out. No, they weren't there. Okay, so Coach, here's my question. I believe right now God is calling leaders. They could be listening to us right now, okay? Now, you're a leader. I would consider myself a certain kind of a leader. And there's leaders in different divisions, right? This is an army, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, someone out there listening, that God's laying on their heart to take up the sword, and I mean the word of the Lord, and take up the torch. What is the first qualification of a leader when God calls you? What's the first thing that you must adhere to?
Obedience and fealty. Those are the two things, David. Whatever he says unto you, when Jesus turned the water into the wine, his mother went to the disciples and says, whatever he says unto you, do it, right? And then fealty, loyalty. Pick a team and stay with the team. Pick a team and stay with the team. Those are both, in my opinion, very, very rare qualities in Christianity today.
It's constant resistance. I was sitting in a hotel, and there was a lady who worked at the hotel watching this garbage on television in the morning. There was violence and sex, it's one of those channels, and the kids were there in the hotel lobby eating and watching it. And God spoke to me and said, I want you to do something. Because I complained to God, somebody needs to do something. And God said, yeah, that's you. And so I had to get up and go talk to that lady in front of everybody. And my kids ran and hid, everybody said, but what I'm saying, little things like that mean a lot. You've got to stand up for God, and you've got to legalize Jesus. We can't keep playing this Candyland Christianity anymore.
David, he said, if you deny me before men, I'll deny you before my Father which is in heaven. Now, folks, what does that mean? How do you deny the Lord before men? You remain silent.
Yeah.
You don't stand up and you don't speak. When you do that, you are denying the Spirit of Christ that reigns inside each and every one of us. Brothers and sisters, open your mouth and speak.
If you're like me and you're tired of organized religion, the same kind of preacher preaching feel-good sermons, I'm a mom raising 2 kids, and I want them to hear the truth. I'm a gatherer right here on David Heavener Live every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we learn what it means to be a real Christian, to cast our demons, heal the sick, and fight the good fight. I'm not famous, and I'm certainly not rich, but I am a child of the living God, and I stand on truth. I hope you'll join me and many others right here on David Heavener Live, where we learn to use our God-given power. I've come to chew gum and kick the devil's rear end, and I'm all out of gum.